what's up, everybody? We are back live. No, we're not live, but we are all living here at deer camp right now.
Some of us is living.
Some of us, Jake, the producer over here, had a little rough night. But
a little blue around the gills, ain't it?
that's all right. It didn't get that bad for us this weekend.
No,
we had a great opening weekend. I mean, I guess minus the deer, but
we still seen deer. I mean, what more do you want?
we're just being picky.
Yeah, we had an eventful weekend. I mean, it was productive. I mean, y'all seen some deer.
Everything. Yeah. I saw deer every set. Hey, we went this morning before the podcast.
Seen deer this morning.
Yeah, it was windy. It was getting a little cold, wasn't it?
We're supposed to be, 54, 56, what it said?
That's a cold 54 degrees.
If I'd had a heater in the stand, I probably would have broke down and turned it on. Yeah.
I was thinking about hunting in shorts this morning. I'm glad I didn't, though.
Oh, it's a little nipply.
I had to shut the windows.
Was it that cold in them black stands?
The wind's coming dead out of the west and blowing right in, so I shut the west side up.
I'm going to tell you, I was in a sportsman condo, and the wind was jacked up. I had a deer blow, and I said, screw it, I'm going to another one. And I went to the Dixie blind. The sun ain't out today. That Dixie blind's 10 times warmer than that sportsman condo.
Really?
Yeah, it's like as soon as I walked in, it was like drastic difference.
With the carpet on the walls.
Something.
It keeps it a little insulated.
I felt toasty then. That hard black plastic was a little chilly this morning.
I stay cold, though. It don't matter what.
It wasn't that cold this morning.
No, it was chilly, but
the deer were moving a little bit. Me and Jamie saw 3 or 4 on the way to the stand this morning.
I was very optimistic riding in this morning. Man, we didn't even get between camp and the stand and seen 4 or 5 days on the side of the road.
Remember what I told you?
That's what I told you.
Remember what I told you? You see them on the way to the deer stand, you're gonna have a bad day.
Yep. I told you that when we went by them deer. I said, "Dang, Mike, we're gonna have a bad day now."
It wasn't. I mean, I just didn't start seeing stuff till 8:45 or 9 o'clock before I even seen the first deer this morning.
I had as soon as it got light enough to see, 2 coyotes come strolling. I guess what time was that? It's probably 6:30, 6:30 maybe. Fog. There was a little bit of fog on the field I was sitting on, and then 2 coyotes come. I saw one. I was like, "Man, what's that going across the field?" I got my binoculars out, so it was a coyote. So I saw another one coming. So I grabbed my gun. And they wouldn't stop, but I think
you hit something because I heard it.
Yeah, I went over and looked. I didn't see him, but he wasn't in the field. But if he went off, he went off in that tall stuff. But he got a 300 mag slung at him.
Oh, you actually shot at something?
Shot at
Yeah.
Shot at a coyote.
I ain't gonna let a coyote. I mean, I'll mess up a deer hunt to shoot a coyote.
I didn't know you shot. So I was wondering what that text was this morning. What did you say? Is that what he was talking about? The bang something?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Big bang is here.
No, that was our producers.
The Spike come out and worked that scrape right down the trail. Right, you know where the camera is?
Yeah.
And
I ended up seeing 8. I think
2 doe run out and run towards Mark. I texted him, told him they were headed there his way.
It didn't make it to me. It started blowing in the pine thicket, and I couldn't stand it. I had to get down.
Is that when you finally decided to get down?
Yeah. The wind was doing crazy junk this morning.
It was. I mean, when I went in this morning, I had head set on getting, if the wind was right for where I was going to go. And then I got in there, and I don't know if it was the ridges or what, man, but the wind kept swirling in there. So I got out of there and moved to another spot back south of there and sat down on the ground. And I sat there, and the wind was fine there. And I was like, well, I'll sit here. Well, the wind was coming from my left to my right, which is the way I wanted it to come. And then I was sitting there for a little while, and then, I don't know, about 45 minutes later, the leaves started blowing from the right back over to the left for about 10 minutes. I was like, doggone, it doesn't ruin my whole hunt. Then I had a damn stink bug crawled up off the ground, up on my clothes, crawled up my arm, and I thumped him, and I thought he'd come off of me. Well, that thing went up crawling on the back of my hat, and I reached up there and swatted him. And when I did, he fell down my inner shirt, and I could just smell stink bug. I mean, it was all I had wound up having to come out of my clothes to get that friggin' stink bug.
That's a new cover scent, Mikey. You done invented a new cover scent.
That's what I said. I said, well, the deer ain't going to smell me because you can't smell nothing with a 10-foot radius with this stink bug. So I had me some new cover scent.
What does a stink bug smell like? How do you describe it?
I don't even know. I mean, it's just a pungent freaking...
Dr. Pepper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has a kind of a sweet smell to it. I mean, I don't know how to describe it, though. That's what, I mean.
I don't either. It's just a
musty, kind of sweet, kind of, I don't know, B.O.ish, I guess.
It ain't a good smell.
And it stand at Crossroads stand, it's got ladybugs, and that thing, when you open the door, you smell I guess they're really not ladybugs. They're them some kind of beetle.
Japanese beetle or something.
Everybody
Bite
say
the
the
crap out of you.
ladybugs, but man, them things stink.
They do. They stink worse than stink bugs. Me, you get a bunch of them.
Those things are, you don't realize like how many of those things can get in your house or stuff
they
like
go
that.
through any little crack.
We went one time. I went down to Randy's deer camp and helped him clean up, and they had a big room that was kind of like where they hung out and had like a little bar in there. They had a pool table and some other chairs and TVs and stuff. It was away from the bedrooms. So, anyways, we come in the door, and as soon as we walked in the door, it was like you hear stuff crunching under your feet. You know, we cut the lights on, and them ladybugs or Japanese beetles, whatever they are, were everywhere. And we had I'm not exaggerating. We took a push broom down there where that pool table was, opened the back door, and they were so many of them in the floor, they were rolling up over the push broom. Just millions and millions of them had gotten in their cabin.
That's how
And
they
they
wow.
died.
You go to Hardin
Wow.
Point. Hardin Point's the same way. Darren and them will get them over there bad. You'll literally park your truck. When you open it up, the whole around your edge of your door, it's thousands of them. Your truck will be full of them.
That's an infestation.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
bad.
They are.
How'd they get rid of them? Just sweep them out?
We just swept. I mean, they were dead, most of them.
Oh.
I mean, probably 95% of them were dead. We just swept them out the door because you couldn't even walk in there.
Are they going in there in the winter? Is that when
They
what
went
they're coming
there, I
in
guess,
for to get out of the cold?
Yeah.
They end up dying, I guess.
They died. I guess the life cycle ended or something. I don't know.
So what's worse, stink bugs or them ladybug Japanese beetle things?
Man, I don't know if them things get the buzz around and getting on you at night or something like crawling in your sheets and stuff. Probably them beetles.
That's what I'd say.
I don't like neither one of them. It's a bug.
Yeah.
So
Y'all know how to get rid of them?
They don't.
There's no.
I mean, I'm sure you probably spray for something.
Bug
But
bombs, but I mean,
So the reason why I heard they got over here is because they brought them over to fight the pine beetles, to try to keep pine beetles from getting it, killing pine trees.
usually them ladybugs
And now
won the battle.
They have won the battle here because I don't know if we got pine beetles, but we got the millions of them things.
Yeah, some of the stuff people don't think too, between beetles and kudzu.
Pretty much anything that come from overseas to helps prevent some over here is pretty much bit us in the butt every time.
We've got the
I
raw
don't think
deal.
we have the winter. I think everything thrives over here. At least in Mississippi, it does because we don't have no winter really.
Yeah.
At least in Japan, they have like a pretty harsh winter at times.
At least, yeah, the kudzu is, it takes over, but at least it dies back. It finally died. It's gone now. But
So backstepping, opening weekend, what we eat?
man,
You talking about that right there hurt me.
that was the highlight.
Friday night. I was hurting. I ate way too much.
That was the highlight of deer camp opening weekend for me. Friday night and Saturday night's dinner.
I think it'd be easier to name what we didn't eat. Like, might be the shorter list.
So we started out with, I went and bought certified Angus beef whole ribeye, and then I also got a whole beef tenderloin. And then Mark, you trimmed up the ribeye and cut it into big steaks.
I ended up
It
getting
was
10 or 12.
steaks, probably.
They were pretty thick. They were 2-finger thickness, so they were
They were
probably inch and a
definitely
half.
20, 22 ounces.
Yeah.
And then I cut 9 fillets, pretty thick fillets out of that beef tenderloin. And you cooked them. Well, you doctored them up. What'd you do to them?
A little bit of prime beef, Willinghams, and Worcestershire.
That was all.
We tried to go with the old Como flavors again.
That was our whole thing. We were going to
We were making our own Como.
duplicate the Comos. If y'all have never been to Como, Mississippi, they got a steakhouse there. It's fine. But we got them beat at Buck Junkies. I don't care what they say. We cooked them on an open fire pit. You had was that a Brio? 36,
30. I think it's a 30-inch Brio.
30-inch Brio.
With the 2 cooking racks. So we had an upper and a lower level. You could sear them off at the bottom, and then once they got close to getting done, we'd move up top and let them finish, and we were rolling. We cooked. It didn't take long, probably 20, 30 minutes to cook all them steaks. It wasn't bad at all.
It was total different flavor over that fire pit versus a pellet
Charcoal grill or-
charcoal
Yeah.
grill, anything like that.
Oh, I don't know how many sticks of oak wood you burnt down to get the coal bed.
Burn a quarter of a cord of wood to get that thing. Oh yeah,
16th of a cord.
one time we had a fire in it.
Yeah, me and Mikey lit it at about 2:30 on Friday and started burning wood down. And when it got time to cook, we had a heck of a coal bed. We could cook. I mean,
Y'all would have cooked all night.
yeah, we could cook.
You know what was really good was when you took that bread and then did you season it or butter it or anything?
Jamie buttered it.
Butter,
Yeah.
and hams on
Yeah.
it.
And then after you cooked all those steaks, you grilled that bread, and it just got that flavor off the grate. Oh man!
So we
bread
had between a ribeye and fillets, 15, 17 steaks, something like that.
Yeah,
probably.
at least.
Oh, more than that. I bet you we had 20 something.
Yeah, because
there was only 9 of us.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to count how many people it was.
There was 9 people eating, and we had probably 21, 22 steaks.
And these ain't like you thinking steaks. Like I know a lot of times with us cooking a lot, we try to do the pretty grill marks. Nope. These were just flip them. I don't care. I might have flipped them a dozen times, but we're just getting a good color, good crust. Some of them was falling apart because they were so tender, but man, when it come time to eat, they was money.
And it was all about medium rare.
Yeah.
I didn't get one that was over.
I had one filet that was a smidge over, but I might have let that one get away from me.
Mikey whipped up an old pot of homemade mac and cheese.
That's a
Man, that beats the box any day.
Yeah. Homemade mac and cheese, and we did some chimichurri baked potatoes.
Some mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
Como style mushrooms.
Yeah, we did do fried dill pickles, didn't we?
So what we did with those mushrooms, we took some of those beef, the ribeye trimmings, the fat off of it, rendered it down in a pot, and then
the one that's talking about it didn't want me doing that. He wasn't real sure.
Oh no,
that.
I'm getting to the point why I wasn't real sure about it. So it was dang good. But you talk about work on your guts.
Man, I was solid.
Mikey couldn't even hunt the next morning.
I was pretty bad off the next day.
It didn't have nothing to do with them gold tops or nothing else. Or
I bet it was like beef tallow.
That. I didn't drink that much.
Did you say Mikey is bubbling?
It was bubbling.
I was bubbling for real the next morning. I could hear my guts popping like just.
But me and Mark, we hand breaded some dill pickle spears.
2 jars of them.
2 jars of dill pickle spears. I whipped up a homemade ranch dressing. We hit the flour, the egg wash, the fish bat. It was like some kind of cornmeal Louisiana fish fry, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Battered them in that and dropped them down in that deep fat fryer outside there. Man, them some fine dill pickles.
The bread and stuff really good, which they sit on that cooling rack, 45 minutes probably?
I was there for a little while, yeah.
So, I mean, they like tacked up real good. Man, that bread, and it was still good the next day. I ate one cold, and it was good.
Shell Pop, she came down yesterday with me and popped some in the air fryer last night that was in the fridge, and they got right back crispy. They were good.
We did not go hungry.
No, because we
didn't have a dessert. We didn't think that far ahead.
Yeah, I ate me 2 of them little buckets of Bluebell ice cream out of the freezer.
That was as fine a meal as you could get on opening night of rifle season in Mississippi. I don't know if there's anywhere they were eating better than that right there.
No,
Fire pit cooked steaks with all that stuff to go with it.
I have learned
7 and 7. I had plenty of them.
If Malcolm is planning a dinner, you better not do nothing on your own. You better just sit and wait for your orders and do what he says. And don't try to veer off. Don't try to, he's worse than my daddy. Don't you put no of that season on. Do this, do that. You better follow the chef's rules.
That's
we
right.
ain't have a sous chef.
No, I'm the sous chef. You're the line cook.
Yeah, line cook. Heck, I might have been busting tables.
That came later.
It does got me wanting to get a brio or something to cook on. That was,
man, I'm pretty impressed.
If anybody
with
had never done it, it's definitely a different.
We started cooking on. We got the smaller one, like the 19-inch. We started cooking on it last summer, and I fell in love with it because it's versatile. You can cook whatever. Man, I'll cook some cheeseburgers that are. It's like a cheeseburger you remember growing up eating. Like minus the lighter fluid taste, it's pretty dang good. But
you done the country pleasing sausage on it too, and
that was the best.
It put a dang crisp on the sausage.
That sausage was like crunchy.
It was better than smoker.
You
Hasselback cut it and then throw it on the top or right on the lower grade on it.
I threw it. I done both. I think once I got it where it was started dripping and rendering fat, I moved it to the top and just let it go. But yeah, just took it, and what he means by Hasselback is like you just slice it 3/4 of the way through. And what you're doing is you're letting the fat and the grease off because you got to let some of that cook off. Otherwise, that sausage is going to be greasy. And I know everybody's like, oh, don't pop the sausage. No, cut it, let it render. And to me, it's a better eating sausage.
Yeah. Well, that one, like a fresh sausage, I don't poke those, like a broad or Italian sausage.
Yeah.
You don't want to poke those and let it all out. But those sausages have already been smoked. They're fully cooked.
Yeah.
So you're getting some of that grease off of it. But what it does to me is it lets some of that flavor get down around the sausage, because if you just cook it whole in the link and slice it up, you don't get anything on the inside part. And this got char, it got crispy.
The skin on it was like like a cracker. I mean, it was like crunchy, crispy. It's some of the best smoked sausage I've ever ate.
Como could learn. They could learn something from you on that. And start doing that on their fire pits.
We're gonna start taking the overflow from Como.
Yeah, we're gonna take the overflow. Reservation only.
Yeah.
Reservation only here. We don't take walk-ins. But that was Saturday night's dinner, and we had all those.
That was Friday night.
Friday night's dinner. The next day, we got up and went hunting. We didn't eat breakfast. Like, we don't eat breakfast till about after the morning hunt. So I guess we skipped breakfast because Mikey, what you whipped up?
Steak quesadillas or some leftover steaks.
Heck yeah. They were, man,
really good.
It was just simple. It was just like cheese
It
and
wasn't
steak.
it was just smoked kitty quesadillas. Just put your tortilla down, a little bit of American cheese, some shredded cheese, and put your leftover steak in there, and that's pretty much it. You got to heat steak back up, otherwise
Did you heat it up in skillet, I guess?
Yeah, I just heated it up in the skillet. I didn't cook it. I just heated it back up in the skillet.
Tell you what, after sitting until about 11 o'clock and coming back in for lunch, I hit the spot. Yeah.
Man, that put me down. I had to take me a little power nap.
After
that,
that,
over there in Doze, football game was on.
Mark was laying on the end of the couch, his lips going. He was sleeping.
I was out.
He wasn't snoring, but his lips would go in, they come out.
I got that from my grandmother.
well, what'd y'all see up in the morning?
I think I ended up seeing 8 or 9 does, I think, that morning. Didn't see any bucks. Just some does and some turkeys. It was turkeys everywhere that morning. They were turkeys running around under every stand out there, I think. But
So this was your first weekend hunting off the bike.
yeah,
Tell us about that.
man, it wasn't nothing to it. It was it took a little learning. I took my backpack. I realized you got to buckle your backpack on pretty tight. So I done that, and then I was shooting my 350 Legend, a little AR platform, and I just kind of put it on my front, across the front, use a sling, and it was comfortable. I didn't have no issues whatsoever. And
It does look awkward seeing you ride by an orange vest, though. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah.
but I mean, I left a little bit earlier than y'all did because first time out. If I wanted to make sure if I run off in the ditch and was crippled up or something, y'all could come get me or see me when laying over there. So
you've hunted off of it about 5 times now. Have you come close to falling yet?
no.
So
if it was going to be any morning, it'd have been this because what did we get? Probably 2 or 3 inches rain last night.
I think it was about 2 inch and 3/4.
It didn't spin going up out of that ditch?
No. The only place it spun, which is crazy to think on a bike, was going to the North Line stand, just where that food plot had been
kicking around. Yeah.
It was soft, but I didn't have no trouble crossing the ditch, and it was about 6-8 inches water in the bottom of the ditch. It wasn't real deep, but
wasn't up to the hub.
no. I'm glad it wasn't because my boots got holes in them. I'd got my feet wet, but it ain't been bad. I hadn't had any incidents, or I liked it this morning because the deer was messing with me, they were smelling me this morning. I was like, well, heck, I'm fisting to move, and I jumped on it and buzzed right around to the other stand, and heck, by the time I got in the stand and got sit down, I already had those in the food plot. So, I mean, they paid zero attention to that. I mean, within 2 or 3 minutes of me sitting down, they were there. So that was pretty convenient.
It's definitely quiet because I can't hear you when you go around. Like I forget what night it was. It might have been Saturday night. Me and Michael was sitting in the stand. We had a couple of bucks out there in a field full of does, and I didn't want to get down. And we're gonna talk about that too. What do you do? But I text Mark, said, Mark, this time you get down, come on back around the other way, and maybe that'll run those deer off, and they won't hear us get out of the stand. That way, they won't be spooked. And so you come around there, and I think they saw your headlight, but you could not hear anything.
I heard them when they got off on the edge of the leaves. I couldn't see them, but I did hear them trot off.
It got them out of the field, and it was pretty late, and we eased down and got out of there. But that bike was super quiet.
It's been fun. And like I say, the only thing I'm even concerned with is the neighbor's pit bull. Is if that rascal gets after me, I don't know if I can pedal that.
He likes to
fast.
take out right
He
there.
does. I've been waiting for me to get down the bottom of the hill, and you hear him coming.
Did he get you with them little short practice baseball bats like you hit pop flies to kids with? He swat that joker back with
I
it.
got a 16-inch barrel 350 Legend.
We can get you with them hot sticks. You can get him with that. Jamie priced him one while he's in the stand today, didn't you?
Man,
He got it in the car.
I got it in the cart. I just hadn't hit the buy now option.
So what is it the exact same one Mark has?
Yeah, same one. It's just a different color, but they're running $600 off,
$600 off,
$200 in accessories or something like that with the e-bike now.
And I tell you, we talked about they had the free battery the week before I ordered mine, and then the week after I ordered mine, they started doing the Black Friday sale. I shot them an email yesterday. They credited me back $400. They
man, dang, that's pretty slick.
They already done it.
That's pretty slick. A buddy of mine, Josh, said, did I talk about that last week? He said, Your Optic. He said they had a link where they had the Quiet Cats, and it's a smaller bike, a smaller power bike, but it was about $1,000 for one of those. That's a pretty good deal on that one.
I got to looking at some stuff last night on them Quiet Cats, and what's the other? There's one that's called Backcountry and Rambo.
Rambo's like you can spend up to $9,000 on them.
That's a little pricey for a bike.
So I got to doing a little research, and I mean, I'm sure it's great. I mean, there's a reason they cost that much, but a lot of those have the mid drive. Like mine's got a hub drive motor, and these are mid drive. Well, a lot of people are having issues. Like if you don't start it out just right, or if you're going up a trail and start pulling a hill or anything like that, it'll break the chain. And then once you break the chain, you're screwed because you can't pedal it.
Yeah.
And the motor's in the mid drive, so you're stuck just pushing a scooter then. And I was like, well, heck, I never thought about that. Worst case, if mine broke a chain, I still got a hub drive motor. It'll, if you got battery, it'll drive you out of the woods.
Yeah.
But
you have extra parts that you take with you or anything? Or
I'm gonna get.
I guess if you're out solo, like way out, you probably. But here, worst case scenario, you walk a couple miles back to
tires. That's it.
Yeah.
It's been fun. I enjoyed it. I'm finna get back on it. When we get done with this, I'm finna go back out there.
I hear you, Mikey. What'd you do out in the morning? You're the only one at 12.
Oh, I killed a bobcat.
I was the only shot fired opening weekend.
Yeah, that was I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of like you with the, we see bobcats and coyotes and things like that. I mean, if I see them, usually I'm gonna kill them. I just keep them off the property. I mean, they don't really mess with the deer much. The bobcats don't, but the turkeys and things like that. And I wasn't seeing much no way, so I went ahead and took the opportunity to go ahead and pop that thing.
I mean, you got to get that misconception out of your head too. That man, I've shot a coyote or bobcat one in the morning, and a few minutes later, deer come out.
That's the way it was this morning for me.
It's not like you're running them clean out of the
Well,
area.
when you shot that coyote this morning, I had deer standing in front of me, and I mean,
didn't phase them.
No, they never even blinked. I mean, they were fine.
It was maybe 20 minutes after those coyotes, after I shot that one, that does came out and started feeding right where they were. So I don't know. I think it is a misconception. It ruins your hunt. Now,
no, I don't think it does.
If the deer in the field, it might mess with them. They might run off, but I don't think it's going to stop them from coming.
No, I don't either.
They hear shots. I don't know how many shots I heard this weekend. It was like war zone out here.
I think that's why I got a second chance. I missed that bobcat on the first shot.
Yeah. Oh, did you really?
Oh yeah. I shot and missed him, and then he didn't know where to go. We done heard 15 shots that morning over around us. So anyway, he tried to run out of he almost got out of the food plot when I dirt rolled him out there. But
it sounded like we was hunting public land this weekend, didn't all the shots. I mean, everybody was shooting.
I think everybody took advantage of that. What is it, 10 deer?
Yeah, everybody's getting that 11 deer quota in.
Trying to get that quota in.
Yeah. Well, let's do the rut report. Have y'all seen any sign of anything that says the deer are in rut or fixing a rut?
Sunday afternoon, I come down here and went over and hunted the north property line stand where Mark been hunting, and I had a spike come out, and he messed with some yearlings, and it was a mature doe in the woods, and he never pushed her out in front of me, but I could see her. He was pushing it through the woods pretty good, but I don't know if I guess I would think they're finna start coming in.
Was it? It was a spike.
Yeah, the spike. Yeah.
Was it a big doe and then 3 little does? Or 2 yearlings? Yeah. That's exactly the group I saw this morning, and that spike was with them.
Yep.
And he worked the scrape, and he wasn't messing with the does really. I mean, he got in behind the biggest one at the end when they kind of went out of the field, but he wasn't really pushing them. That's the only thing I've seen. Other times I've had
just checked them.
I ain't even had none check. I mean, I had 2 rack bucks out feeding together with doe in the field, and they ain't paying them no attention.
We're not there yet, right here.
Yeah, I think it's still early for we're hearing around us that
brother-in-law's 15 minutes from here, and he said all day yesterday just nonstop buck chasing does when he was hunting.
Yeah, DeSoto County, it was. This weekend it was 2-3 different people that told me they killed bucks chasing does. All the bucks they seen were running does. So, DeSoto County is on right now.
Yeah.
Normally we'll see some. Thanksgiving weekend we'll see a little bit of activity, but it's usually that first weekend of December where it's like hot. And that was always where our primitive weapon kicked back in. You know, that second primitive weapon or whatever that they call it now. It's primitive weapon, but on private land, your choice, isn't it?
Yeah, now
Firearm of choice. So it's, as long as you buy the permit, right. I think. But that's when I expect it. I mean, the past 2 years since we've been hunting that other property, it's been like that. That's when you see the chasing going on. I mean, they're still working scrapes and the rubs are popping up everywhere.
Used to, we would see some in some of the places we used to hunt in DeSoto County, like the first weekend, every now and then, but not real heavy. And then usually what it was at first, it was like right there at the end of muzzleloader season, going back into rifle season, when we would really see them hot and heavy, about like what it is down here now.
Yeah.
And Abbeville was pretty close to that same.
I mean, I have seen deer opening day running deer. It's like, I mean,
we always felt like we did, like hunting in the bottom out there, the cold water bottom, like the river out there by the house. We always had them chasing. Yeah. It seemed like, at least.
Would you see young fawns over there, or would they already be pretty good sized deer?
Back then around our house, you don't see fawns. Are a whole lot more plentiful down here than they are at the house.
Doe numbers are just less up there.
I don't know that place that we've always hunted since early 2000. It ain't. I mean, Mikey's done it. I've done it. Mark's done. We've gone up there and seen 30 and 40 does in a day hunting up there, but you just don't see as many. The doe body size a good bit.
So I wonder if that means they are breeding earlier. Maybe they were getting that bow season, late bow season and early rifle season, and that was their peak rut. And then because their does were already big enough.
Like I said, I've seen
here. We still got some. Man, they almost got spots still.
The two I seen the other day, they were small, like size. They were real small.
That's the ones that was with that doe in that spot. Yeah. That's what I saw them this morning. I was like, man, them are little deer.
This is the first time I've sat and watched a single doe come out by herself. Usually it's always a pair of four. We usually have a group. I had single does. She stayed out there and fed 30 minutes.
I had that happen twice, one Saturday and one Sunday. And me and Michael was with him, and he's like, that's a doe. And I was like, man, I'd be surprised if it ain't another buck, because it is very unusual, especially around here, to see a solo doe. For me, it's so hard to judge a doe's size when there's only one in the field, because they'll trick you. You'll think it's a big doe until a big one comes out.
Then you realize.
And so what I was thinking, now this was before I'd really, first couple sets this season, like I was like, well, if it's a little doe, maybe a buck's pushing the mama around, they kind of get separated, because you see that happen. Like if it's a hot doe, the bucks will get in behind her, push her off, and she'll have to leave her little ones, and you might see them solo then. But just to be out there feeding by itself, it's really unusual.
That's why I don't.
A lot of times I don't shoot them. I don't shoot them like that at all. One, it's hard to judge size, and two, that junker will grow a set before you get to him once you lay him down.
Johnny won't shoot a group of does, and he won't shoot a solo doe. So we're going to figure out what we got to do.
I try. He said he saw one this morning. He was texting us. I said, kill him.
I was hoping we'd hear it.
I was hoping we were filming fried some interloin up for lunch today. A little video on it. It ain't over with. Well, that'll be lunch. Maybe we'll have to do it for dinner then.
So I got a question. All right. So we're kind of anticipating the rut and talking about the rut a little bit, but so just say we've kind of had this happen to us before. You got bucks on your property that are staying on your place. You may have got a glimpse of them or something. So do you try to get aggressive with that deer before the rut hits, or do you try to wait on the rut knowing that he might leave your property? Or do you still try to get aggressive with him while he's patternable now?
If it's one I'm hunting, I'm going after it now. I ain't waiting on rut. But
I think our problem is we don't have enough land to pattern and to hunt one specific buck, because their range is going to be bigger than our property, and then the wind would have to be right to do that. You got to really pinpoint that deer's range. So that means you got to either do a bunch of scouting or put cameras out, catch where he's bedding, catch where he's feeding, and then really be able to get on him. And then you got to have the wind right to slip in there on him, because them old big bucks are so smart. You're not just going to, go sit and chances of seeing him. So my best chance to hunt the way I hunt is to catch them when they're in rut, because that's when their guard goes down and those bucks will be anywhere. So it's like hours in the stand during peak rut. I have a better chance to kill a big buck.
Now, I do think that full blown rut, you going
You're going to see deer you never seen.
Yeah.
Your neighbor's hunting going to come on your property or vice versa. But
when you're hunting 150 acres or even smaller pieces of land, that's what you're hoping for. You got it. I mean, you know those deer are coming off other people and they're running. They're not just staying on 150 acres. Now, Bucks, he could, but during the rut, 9 times out of 10, they're gone. They're traveling. So that's when you're going to see them. But I mean, you like, say bow season, you got a pretty good chance in bow season because those bucks are still together and you can find the acorn trees or the persimmon trees they're eating on and, pattern them a little bit better. But now it's so tough, man. Once they start hearing all these shots, all this activity's picked up, them joggers are laying tight until they got to move. And it's probably going to be at night, But you can catch them.
On that?
What?
You said something different.
Yeah. What's your thought?
I mean, if there's a particular deer I'm after, like you say, during bow season, you've seen it, or early scouting on cameras, you've seen it in a certain area. Yeah, I want to go ahead and get on that deer before they start rutting. But then you got to look at it different way. Then when it is full blown rut, like you saying, man, that deer you've been hunting, he's going to be gone. But then on the same note, you're going to see deer on your property that you ain't seen on camera all summer, all fall, all year long. That deer chasing that doe, it might have been from his home territory, might have been several miles away.
Yep.
He just made it up to you. I mean, just like years ago, you and Britt was up there. That big 12-point he killed, that was a heck of a deer. Man, none of us have seen that deer. I talked to a guy that's seen it probably straight line, probably 4 miles away.
But that deer traveled that far.
I bet so.
Wow.
But that, like I say, that deer was coming through, and he'd already he got up in the stand. That deer just come out, and I mean, heck, ain't none of us seen it. And it's just a deer.
Didn't have any pictures of it or anything.
No.
That was the one time Jamie did not have the lucky sit that morning. Usually Jamie always has the lucky sit, not that morning.
What do you think? If you see a buck, are you going to try to?
I'm not going to miss first few weekends of hunting season anyway, or any opportunity I can go, I'm going to go. So regardless if I'm trying to pinpoint that buck or not, because you don't know. I mean, if you had repetitive camera, pictures of them on your cameras, then you can kind of get an idea, but you still got to have luck playing in your favor regardless.
Yeah, you do.
And honestly, I feel like you have better odds. The rut's going to be hard to kill that deer because he's going to be on his feet. He's going to be moving. You might get lucky and he moves in the field you're sitting or the wood you're sitting. But if he makes it through the rut, I feel like your best opportunity is mid-January. That late rut or either when he is wore out.
When they're coming to
they're coming to food source. That is, to me, I mean, most of the big deer down here have been killed late. Other than your 10, I mean, it's been.
I've killed 2 chasing does. The 2 10 points I killed down here were both chasing does. And it was first weekend of December. I can go back and look at my pictures. One of them was December 1st, one of them was December 3rd. That's how tight they were. That's how I know that's peak rut. Yeah. First peak rut. Now there's a second one. Usually happens right around that New Year's.
January 10th, January 5th.
That's when they come back and they're getting all those days. And then right after that's when you're talking about.
Yeah, when they're
going to be coming.
Out.
Yep, and they're coming to eat every single night. You don't see them there in the morning as much. That's when you catch some evening bucks.
So this goes back to, all right, you're hunting at 150 acres. You become, I'm not going to say friends with, but social with your neighbors. You gotta have that part of the relationship if you're going to take this serious, and if you try to manage, and hopefully your neighbors can get on the same mindset you are. But do you trust that neighbor? Do you know, I mean, the simple fact, like we talked about last week, crappie fishermen, they ain't going to tell you nothing.
Yeah.
So how do you keep up with, is your target buck, has it still on its feet or is it not?
I mean, most time you're going to know if it gets
I would think if it's a big deer,
especially now with social media, they won't
brag.
That goes against everything we said last week. Ain't nobody posting that stuff.
We're going to hear from a taxidermist. We're going to hear from somebody.
Now that is point. Have your taxidermist. If you're not friends with the neighbor, be friends with the taxidermist.
What's coming in? Yeah, that's it too. I met the neighbor last night at Walmart that bought that cutover.
Oh,
and he straight up told me, he said, man, he's seen a monster 6-point over there. And he's like, and he just introduced us. He come up and introduced me. I was checking out and said that, if y'all are trying to kill certain deer, you got some you want to let walk, let me know. He was just straight up, he'll let,
That's how you make 100 acre or 50 acre or 60 acre
something worth it.
Yeah.
turn into more if you can. Because you take, all right, so that's all, in theory, that's another 40 acres we just added to us, and that's another 300 he just added to him.
Yeah, knowing what you're going to shoot.
Yeah.
And our other neighbor, when I first bought the property, he come over and, he got to talking to me and telling me what they were shooting and where they were hunting and all that. I mean, a lot of it's safety too. If I got neighbors and I know they got stands up, I want to know where they are. That way I know, if they're in that stand, I don't want to be shooting them. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's just being neighborly,
But I think if you convince your neighbors that not convince them, but sometimes it is good to share that knowledge with them that you are managing. I'm letting these 2.5-year-old
deer walk.
Some 3.5-year-old 8 points go. We're not shooting those until it's a mountable deer. Sometimes they may take advantage of it a little bit at first, but then they start realizing, well, if they're letting them go, I hear them shooting over there, so they got to be shooting bigger deer.
Yeah.
Then they may get on board, and start doing it. But then you always got that one that he don't care.
They don't care.
He just wants to kill everything in the woods. So
luckily, I don't think we have a lot of neighbors down here that do that. I mean, this is just one area where most people seem to be have the same kind of idea. Now they might, think that's their deer and you're killing their deer, but you're not going to stop that,
Well, that's kind of a twofold with that too, because once you get that relationship built, it's not if, it's when it's going to happen. Is you shoot a deer and it crosses that property line, then you got them in your back pocket to where hey, come on over and get it. We'll do the same thing for you, and it's
help you.
It's more to that relationship than just, hey, don't kill this deer.
Well, you can share a lot of things with them. I mean, you can share, just techniques that you're using and plant rotations like we're doing and stuff like that. Like we're doing summer plots, this is the way we're setting our fields up. This is, if you got a good enough relationship with them and you trust them enough, you can let them over on your property, let them see what you're doing and where all your stuff is.
Yeah.
Well, heck,
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I don't think so.
Your neighbor may have a tractor and you don't. Hey man, I'll buy the seed for your food plots if you'll just run the tractor over here and put seed in the ground. It's a lot of things you can do to gain that relationship, gain that trust, and
but
make your hunting better.
You do have to build that relationship though. I mean, I wouldn't do it with just anybody.
Which is like on Michael's deer, y'all could easily just, nobody's going to see us, and walked across the fence and
just burnt that bridge
and went 100 yards, and y'all would have found the deer. But instead, I mean, y'all went out of the way, got back in the truck, drove back around and asked the guy, could y'all go look for it? And true enough, it paid off.
Yeah. Have y'all ever had a case where a neighbor or a guy on somebody's land, they absolutely would not let you recover a deer?
Not with me, but I've heard of people having that happen.
I never have.
I hadn't. Have you, more?
No.
Most of them, I think most people, especially around here, if you ask them, they're going to be cool about it.
Yeah.
If you got a blood trail and, you shot a deer or whatever, most of them are going to let you go look for it.
Well, in that case, I mean, I might be wrong for this. If I asked and you said no and you're just being an ass about it, I'm going anyways.
We going anyway, really?
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, because I've got a crippled animal. I'm not going to let it. You
gonna call the game board and tell him you're doing it?
I might, maybe, probably not.
I don't know how the law goes on that. If somebody refuses,
I mean, you getting a trespassing ticket. I mean, if you get caught, you're getting a trespassing ticket. You probably going. Yeah,
I may be wrong. Probably arrest you. But I think once you call a game warden, that deer is your animal. You're getting that deer. Now the game warden has to go get it.
Oh.
But he's getting that animal.
I need to look into that. I don't know how it plays out, really.
I'm 99% sure. Like, you do the common courtesy thing and you ask, but if they say no, you call the game warden has rights. He will go get that deer.
Yeah.
I mean,
legally, you shot it.
Yeah.
In my mindset.
I mean, that's no different than your dog going in your neighbor's house and let me chain it up. You can't get your dog.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
game warden go get your dog. Well, the game warden go get your dog. Let's say your dogs, say somebody caught your rabbit dogs or coon dogs, put them up, or deer dogs for that, and put them up, and they got them. Can you?
I don't know the law on that now.
That's a good question.
I mean, you own the dog. I mean, they got to give it back.
That works both ways, I think, because in Mississippi, if
it's not your cow, like cow gets on your land, that's not my cow. It's still a neighbor's cow.
If your deer dog was running and trespassed on somebody else's land, they shot and killed the dog. That's a federal offense against that person, even though the dog was technically trespassing. You can't. So I don't know how that would work, really.
I don't know. I guarantee you, it's probably
with neighbors, and hopefully you don't.
That's the best thing. Just be neighborly, man. This place is too small, and there's too many animals out there not to get along.
Yeah, if I already killed something, I mean, I'm probably going to trespass. I'll probably tell them, I'm going anyways. And you can write the ticket, you can call a game warden, whatever, but I'm recovering my deer, you know.
Game warden help you drag it out.
Yeah, he can drag it out and he can put me in handcuffs when we get through. But I'm not leaving an animal just out there to rot that I took. You know, this is just not right. And I'm pretty adamant about that, you know.
We're lucky to be in an area of the country that you don't really have to deal with that too much. Now, I could see if you like Seat 1, hunting in some of these cities, I guarantee you dealing with some Karens.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah, but you got to look where he's hunting at too. He is hunting around in $1 million homes and stuff.
Quarter acre in Nashville.
It'll cross 10 properties before he falls dead.
They've been down
in
there
somebody's backyard.
You know.
Yeah,
in their backyard.
That's the people you don't want to mess with. The ones that feed them in their backyard like that and take their pets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, talking about that, I've watched a bunch of his. Well, I've watched probably all of them, but there was one where he don't have permission on this, but he's got the permission on the other side, and you know, and he's like he don't have permit, you know, and they won't let him come, you know, and that's kind of dangerous deal there, you know, what he's doing, especially in some of those tight knit little communities there. Because like you said, I mean, some of those folks may be feeding that deer and look at it as a pet. You just killed it. Oh, you probably fix to lose all your hunting rights.
I guarantee you.
That's when you go to the neighbor and ask him, can you hunt?
We'll get the back straps for you, have them cut up, vacuum sealed, ready to go.
No, them guys, we'd have been all over the board with subjects, but man, Seek 1, them guys, they got it going on. That's a pretty cool deal they got.
I saw something the other day. Your drone guy you turned me on to has done come up with a way to haul them out with a drone.
Yeah, drone deer recovery.
Yeah. If y'all hadn't seen that is crazy.
That's a heck of a drone. That's something.
What do you think the payload on that thing is? That deer, I mean, a deer up there where he's doing them's easy go 200 pounds.
Oh yeah,
and he's picking them up and flying them back from where, you know.
Could you imagine sitting up, getting your coffee in the morning on your back porch, and you see a deer go across the pasture?
Yeah, how high can he fly with a deer on?
You got to get over top of trees.
Yeah.
So he's 300 or 400 feet up, probably.
Boy, that really would piss a Karen off right there, boy.
No kidding.
You would be on Hernando happening so quick.
Did around Christmas, I think it's Santa Claus. Rudolph flying through there.
That ruined a kid's Christmas.
It's Rudolph.
Look up and see this deer fly by.
Yeah. I think that was Comet. I don't think that's Rudolph. He ain't gonna make it. It's his last flight, I guarantee you. It's gonna be a lot.
So you brought up something earlier. Sitting in the stand in the evening, field full of deer. None of them are shooters, but it's time to get down.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Man.
Because you get out of that stand, you're going to bust the field up. But
y'all are supposed to be able to walk out around behind all that stuff I planted.
You can once you get on the ground, but getting out, physically opening the door and getting down the first 4 or 5 steps.
I think we all could do it. You had Michael with you, and he's going to bull in a china shop.
He can't put the windows down without.
Like the other day, I mean, I had 3 does and a little small buck, 50 yards from it. There's no way I'd have got out of that stand.
Plantation, I've done it before. And I mean, you can do it, but like I was in the same situation you was. I was on that north line, and you're not getting out of that stand because you got to go down the food plot and get out.
So did you still have deer out there when you got down?
I could still see them with the binoculars. It was dark. I mean, it was past. I done unloaded the gun, but they had already started slipping off the field, and like I let them get out of sight and give them about 5 minutes, and then I rolled on.
So we're 30 minutes after sunset is legal shooting where we are. That's in the state of Mississippi. Are you sitting until that 30 minutes until it's legal shooting's over and it's going ahead and it's pretty dark? Are you always going to sit that long if you got deer out there?
It depends.
If I get a break and it's 5 minutes for legal light and there's nothing on the field, I'm fixing to get out because I don't want to be sitting there in that last 2 minutes. Something comes out and you can't see good enough to make a good shot anyway.
I made a lot of mistakes at that last 5 minutes before.
Well, it's like the other day you was hunting plantation, wide open field. I was hunting the north stand, which is surrounded by trees. And I mean, I can't half see anyway, but it was dark to me.
Well, before it was dark for you.
Yeah. And I was like, man, I got, as soon as them deer got out, and I got out and walked on out to the Can-Am and just waited, when you got ready to come down, I come picked you up. But
It's different hunting in the woods.
Yeah.
Because it'll still be broad daylight in that food plot.
Yeah, you hunt in the woods. It's dark.
So you're never like, if you're in the woods, you're not hunting until last shooting light.
No.
Especially on like today, it's so cloudy and just overcast. It's
you probably won't even make it to the last shooting light on the field.
It was 30 minutes after legal light this morning before I could see good. You know what I mean? Of course, them pines, they were shaded out big time this morning.
It's dark in there.
I don't know how do you. I mean, we got the stand. I mean, when you're on the ground, they can't see you, but when you're getting out of the daggum stand,
well, you bump the chair, make some noise.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Are you going to try to purposely make a little noise, or are you trying to
draw attention on it?
I mean, I'm going to get out, but I would hope that they, depending on which side of the stand they were on, if the stand's blocking me where I can get to the ground, then I'm going to get out. But if they're on that, I guess on that left side of the stand where they're over in that field where they can see me as I make those steps, I don't know. I'm going to have to sit there and wait on them to, get out of the way or something where I can get down to the ground.
I hate blowing. I mean, sometimes you don't have, especially the climbing stand, you ain't got no choice. You're blowing them out.
I had I was fixing to turn to the old grunt call, just start making some noise with it, see if I could spook them off. It never fails. If I blow the grunt call, deer's out there, they gone. That was my next move.
Bag of rattling.
Yeah, rattling horns and rattle a little bit.
I might take them with me this afternoon. Jay swears by them up there in Indiana.
If you're in the woods now, probably be the time.
I just can't.
I don't know. The bucks are still together. I mean, I've got 2 8-points I've been watching that are both 2.5-year-old deer that they just feeding together. They're not in the bit posturing each other yet or not. I don't know what it's just a little late. I figured they'd be, you wouldn't see 2 bucks together unless they were after the same doe.
It's weird because we've had camera on scrapes all year, and we'll see a couple of bucks walk up there together that scrape, and almost every one of them will mess with that.
Take turns working.
Taking turns to the single urinal.
Yeah, that's what they do.
I never thought they would do that. I figured they would. That's something new that I learned. I thought it was like one at a time. Like they would come up here and mess with it, and
not in a
do
group
their thing, and they wouldn't want nobody else messing with it because he just left his scent there, but. Evidently, they come up in packs and just.
Hey, we've seen on camera coons come up there and smell the
goats.
Yeah, they come up there and smell the scrape just like they was making it.
I think you can tell who's dominant buck because that one deer, boy, he gonna stretch out and show you everything you got.
Yeah.
Little bucks,
he'll stay there for a while.
Looking, making sure it's okay
outside.
They wait till he goes down in the ditch a little bit and run up there and cock a leg and piss on it real quick and run down behind him. That's what he's looking back. Did you just pee in there? No,
that would be.
Wasn't me. That was Leroy in the back.
Show on, boy. He
poses there for 45 minutes or an hour with same.
He was there all night. That one night looked like he was stretching out and doing his antlers and
licking. Done got the branch worked off, rubbing his head on it. I mean, he's doing everything he could to put scent on it.
It's crazy because that is a little scrape. That ain't a big one. It's a small scrape. What it might be.
It ain't much bigger than a paper
20 inches in diameter, maybe. It's not that big. And they're wearing that freaking thing out, man.
Well, I was hoping they'd wear it out this morning. But
so, have you seen any deer? You've been hunting crossroads a little bit. Mikey's mock scrapes that we put up with the drips. Have you seen it? Now, we've been getting pictures at night. And I was saying,
It might be out.
Oh, I guarantee you they're both out.
No, I had the small doe the other day come by, and it just kind of walked by and smelt it, but it never
worked it or anything.
She did. Yeah, she didn't stop doing it with it.
We've got pictures of several deer messing with it, and I was like, one over the other. I think they're tit for tat. They're just curious animals.
So we put Tank 69. Is that right?
Yeah.
Tank 69 gold nesters in one, and then the other one was
Wildlife Innovation.
Mikey 48
Institute.
Yeah.
No, it was a different
one. Dripper by itself.
It was the golden estrus.
Yeah.
Was it
one of them had the scent and the dripper together.
Yeah. The other one we just refilled.
The other one we just refilled up. Old dripper we had with that's the one we put the golden estrus in.
And they're not 5 yards apart. And the same little area right there. You can see them both in the camera.
The thing is, I've seen more does messing with it than just bucks coming up there and messing with it. They'll come up here and smell it and walk off. And
that's one bad thing about the cell cams is it only take. We should have turned it on video. Maybe we need to go back and switch that camera to video mode.
Maybe so.
See what they do to it instead of just smelling it, because we're getting one glimpse with a pick. If we had it on video, you could actually see what they're doing with it.
So now everybody's they're doing the rope instead of a drip thing now.
That's what I want you to do. I want you to come up with the rope and see if we can get them to mess with the rope.
Right.
I don't know. Is it too late? I mean, they're still working scrapes around here. Will they mess with those throughout the whole rut? Are they going to keep using those?
Yeah, I think that's kind of like their
Just
Facebook,
their social media, or their eHarmony or whatever. So,
Tender for deer.
Yeah, tender for deer. So I mean, once they done bred what they're going to breed, and are still looking for something. I guess they're still looking for somebody out there that ain't bred up. So that's how they kind of get wind of them, I guess.
Yeah, and it lets
time call. And
I mean, it's pretty much, and the bucks are doing mark their area. They're like, this is my area. I've got this place covered, and then the other ones come in and say, no, you don't.
Yeah,
and then the does do it to tell them when they're ready. So there's a whole little network going on there with those scrapes. You don't realize it.
No, you do the rope. I'm going to do the Orbeez that are soaked in 69. That one dude was sitting in the stand shooting them out with his little gun.
I don't know if it still works. I bought Michael one that was a year or so ago.
I'm finna order one right now on Amazon.
I've always thought that would be, if you had something that what's the things they used to, like a marble, you put in a bathtub or bath water and it dissolves or whatever.
Yeah.
You done that, and
that's what those Orbeez are. They're
paintball gun. You just shot it out and hit a tree and poof.
Send it up.
Yeah, buck scent.
Well, that's kind of like those Orbeez, and then you just soak. They're dry, and they soak up.
They absorb it in, and when they splatter,
put the freaking things in there. You got to put on some gloves, Mark, if you gonna do that.
Oh, it's fully ordered. Don't worry.
You need to get one that'll shoot far enough where you can shoot some ducks.
Make sure you get the barrel out the window too.
Yeah.
Last year, somebody left a bottle of something in that heartbreak stand. And they didn't spray it all the way out the window, and they sprayed on the inside of the window.
It's probably Mark. He never fails. When we sit together, he'll spray it. It'll come right in my window.
Look, hey, we've seen deer every time.
Every time. But man, that stuff's stout when you take a big snoot of it.
Especially come back in your face. You better be glad it didn't have the buck bomb foam just like stuff.
Yeah, man.
I've never messed with scents that much, so I don't.
I
know Daddy we hunted at the house. He left his climbing stand down there, and this was old school climbing stand, had a seat on it with a zipper pouch on the bottom. He had some Tink 69 or something in the pouch. And man, I guess it was a coon. Something would get in there and just destroy that bottle, chew it open every single time. But yeah, I ain't never meant to mess with all that. I don't know what the proper way is to setting up a mock scrape or a scent trail or whatever.
I probably bought a couple $100 of those buck bombs.
Oh, buck bombs!
I've heard they work. I've heard people say that they work. I'm not saying they don't. They just ain't never worked for me.
I never had any of it to work.
I've thrown them chokers out and left them on. I've had 4 of them out at one time, hosing out there, just hit the trigger and lock it and throw it.
We used to hunt in Kosciuszko. There's always these old timers that would get the glands out.
Yeah.
And they'd keep them in a Ziploc bag. Then they'd go out and they'd bread tie them up on a tree limb, trying to make some distraction, or cotton balls on something.
Dad used to tie them to their boots when he's walking in.
Drag them.
Yeah. I don't know. I've done the buck bomb like Mikey talking about. I had a doe walk up there and smell it. But as far as how you sitting there on TV, it looks like you one time and the whole herd just come busting out of the woods.
No, I ain't seen that.
For me.
Or the vanilla. Have you ever seen them mix the vanilla extract in with some water and make a little spray, and that's supposed to draw them in? I don't know about all that.
No, that's when you're going to call the
Some people doing that smoke cigarettes in the stand the whole time. Come in smelling like a Marlboro.
Yeah.
I think the bucks I've been hunting got high standards.
Yeah.
They ain't easily fooled.
Well, if they can smell that girl from way over yonder,
that's natural, man. They don't know which one.
Hey, you go ahead, Leroy. You can go over and have that one.
You can have that one. Tink. You can have Tink. Yeah. We know her. She's back. Yeah. Never fails. This time of year, she shows up.
Yeah, she'd have been a 5 scrapes already.
Yeah.
She's back.
Have y'all ever freshened up a scrape?
I've put a little bit of stuff in there before, drip it in there and walk off. And there was something else they used to make that was Code Blue made it. I can't remember what it was, like a gel or something like that.
Amazon has it all. I can get a gallon jug, and it's just written with the Sharpie, says doe urine. Like, I have no idea what this is.
That's some good stuff.
That's some of that stuff they collect in those things. People do that farm them or whatever, but that's where a lot of people think that there could be a possibility. That's where, you're getting these diseases from for deer because they're selling stuff like that they don't know if it's contaminated with stuff or not.
Deer's coming up there licking it or eating it or whatever.
Yeah, because they got them all pinned up and they're collecting stuff, urine and all that different stuff from them, and
they do
sell it to different states. And it's I don't know if it's proven fact, but that's definitely some speculation.
Darn.
So they do have doe estrus gel beads already. That's already done in a bottle. But
already they're hydrated already.
Yeah, I don't know if you can shoot them out of Orbeez gun. I ordered some.
The whole thing is you got to handle them things. I mean, even when you soak, let's say if you bought a bottle of Special Gold estrus and you soak all them Orbeez in it, what are you going to get you something you can pour them in the gum where you don't have to touch them?
Go to Sonic, get the big straw and blow it out.
I'm gonna let you try that one.
You better make sure you blow and not suck it.
Don't suck and blow, just straight blow.
So right now in my Amazon cart, I have 20,000 Orbeez, Orbeez gun, pure whitetail doe estrus time release gel balls, and then I got 2 bottles of Code Blue doe estrus.
How much you looking at?
$81.
Oh, that's a steal. Go ahead and order that up.
Proceed to checkout.
Proceed. Is it going to give you here in 2 days? You might have that
He'll
here
have all that in his truck
for Thanksgiving. Oh, that's be my luck too. You better put that in the back end.
Say if I crash on a bike, y'all smell me before I see me.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing. We can get you something you can tie to your bike. Where you
Wrap it.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
You toting 2 guns, an Orbeez gun, a rifle, a bucket of Orbeez, and riding that damn bicycle.
If I hit the trigger,
Something's going to get tangled up in the spokes and you going down.
don't load it till you get to the station.
That's more important than loading the rifle before you get there.
That's right.
Don't load the Orbeez gun. No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ride, because I can sneak up on you now on the bike. I'm going to ride by your stand and blast you up in the stand with you. You'll come on out then.
Man, me and Mikey and a friend of ours, he passed away, but Jason Helton. That's only going through Walmart one time. He done opened up some like fox pee. He was walking through just like randomly just spritzing on the back of people.
Oh man,
I'd be ready to fight. That'd be terrible.
You got to know. If you've known Jason, knows. Yeah.
When I was at Ole Miss, we were hunting government land out there at Sardis, and we had a thing of that raccoon pee like that. And then crazy, there's always some crazy people that live on the dorm with you. Boy lived a couple rooms down. They had one we always picked on, or they always picked. I probably did too. But he took a penny lock your door some kind of way, where you get locked in that dorm room. And there's always a crack underneath them dorm room doors. And he put that old bottle down there and stepped on it, and the whole thing went in that room. And when that dude finally got out of that room, boy, he was hot. I mean, he was hot. It smelled the whole wing of that.
Oh, that don't go. Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah, it was. It was regular floors, but man, his room stunk. I mean, it was bad.
First time, I guess might have been one of the first times Emily went hunting with me. I had some of the buck bomb in there. As a matter of fact, we were sitting in Trump where it used to be. We was in that stand. She said, "What is that?" I said, "It's doe estrus." She's like, "What does it smell like?" And I didn't spray it. I just took the lid off, handed it to her, and she didn't. I mean, she just went up and man, I thought she was finna puke all over me in that stand. Man, she went to gag, and she's like, "There's no way that's what it smells like." I'm like, "I don't know what it smells like, but this is what you buy, and this is what it smells like."
I tell you, it smells like that.
Whew. I'd hate to know. That's like them. This is a completely off subject. We're talking about a polar bear can smell the female polar bear from like 90 miles away. Yeah. I don't want no part of it if you can smell it that far. Like that's
that's got to be some rank stuff. You get 90 miles.
It's pretty potent.
90 miles.
Women put on a bunch of loud perfume to draw you in to start with.
Yeah, it's pheromones, man. That's what gets you in.
All right, so my next Buck Junkies video is we're going to do the Orbeez gun. We're going to see, does it work?
Does the Orbeez gun work?
We're going to find out.
All right. It's going to be here by the weekend, right?
Be here by the weekend.
Or nothing. Are we war? I need to put something in my cart.
Ooh, that'd be bad.
Mm-mm.
Well, so we got Thanksgiving coming up. Are y'all going to be doing some hunting this weekend, or?
As soon as we hit stop on this recording, I'm getting back on the e-bike.
So you're going back to the woods today?
I ain't hunting Thursday, but I usually always hunt Thursdays on Thanksgiving, but I'm not this year. I'm probably hunt tomorrow somewhere. I might hunt with Daddy at the house. I don't know yet.
Yeah, I'm probably going to take tomorrow off. I'm probably going to Hunter's Hollow tomorrow. I got to get me some new boots. And
there you go.
Emily wants to go to Oxford anyway, so we might kill 2 birds in 1 stone. And then I'll probably hunt. We'll wait till Friday. I'll probably be my next day to hunt, I imagine.
Well, I'm here at camp till I go back to work Monday. So hopefully we'll have a good report next week. But we got plenty of entries coming in, don't we, Mikey, to look at?
Got some pretty interesting pictures. And
what's the most interesting one y'all seen so far? It's a front runner.
I seen one. I just kind of glanced at him this morning. Tyler sent some of them to me this morning. I just kind of glanced at him, but got one buck. He's kind of got his head bent all the way between his leg, licking his cod. So that was a pretty good one.
He's getting them ready, huh?
Yeah.
Those spit shots.
He's shining them up.
I don't know. Those squirrel posed in front of the camera pretty good too.
Yeah.
He was showing his manhood off.
We had picture. I moved that camera around there, that heartbreak side, and we had a squirrel fighting a crow. Have you ever seen that?
No.
It's on that camera. Go look at it.
Malcolm showed it to me, and I don't. One of them almost looks like the.
I thought the crow attacked it, but
the squirrel at first. It was two crows, and one. They was not friends any which way about it, but it's a pretty cool pic.
Crows eat like meat and stuff.
They don't eat them live though. Have you ever seen a crow?
No, but I mean, I don't doubt that they will. I mean, if they can probably get a hold of it and hold it down and kill it, they probably will.
Yeah, they would get after a squirrel.
Yeah, this squirrel was pissed. He was getting them. So,
man, it's no touch. It's
I wish that camera would have been on video.
Yeah, that would have been a good one if we'd had it on video too. But
I'm looking at all of them now. There's some pretty good entries.
Yeah, we got some pretty good entries so far. So y'all don't forget about that. If y'all, it's still open. So y'all send your entries in to us, and we're gonna look those over. We're gonna run this through Christmas. And
where are you sending it to? Do you remember?
I had to ask Tyler if we got a support page up, but I think it's just buckjunkies.com.
Okay.
And then
they'll have a post on Facebook, I'm sure, where to send those in. You can post them to our page too if you want to.
I don't know if we've got any recipes yet. He hasn't sent me those yet. I don't think anybody's entered anything in the recipes, but get your recipes entered in if that's the big one. So
we're gonna give away some Buck Junkie swag.
Yeah.
Worst case, just tag us on Facebook and copy us in it. We'll be able to see it that way.
There you go.
If y'all are if you're by the shop, we got a video on making summer sausage. We actually got those kits in the shop at 496 Whitfield Drive. You can buy that kit and you can watch our recipe on TikTok you're going to see the full recipe on TikTok. You got to see it on YouTube, but that's the kit that we use to make all our summer sausage with, and it's fine.
I will be investing some deer meat in sausage this year. That was good summer sausage.
We also got your sausage seasoning there at the shop, so that's what we made the breakfast sausage out of. So if you make a breakfast sausage, swing by there, and we got 1 pound bags of that. So
you can get the prime beef if you're doing steak dinners at deer camp too there.
We got it all. We got all
but the meat, and you had to go see Frankie at Primo's on that.
Yeah.
Jamie might have go see somebody on that if he don't hurry up shoot one.
Yeah, I might be going to see Frankie.
You might make beef summer sausage.
Yeah.
Probably be cheaper than making deer. Well, that's going to do us for this week, y'all. We will be back next week with more report on what's going on here where we're hunting.
Hopefully one of us can brag on a danny doe or something by the end.
Something. I'm kind of holding off on doe just because I've been waiting on the buzz.
That y'all, in all honesty, I'm like it.
I've been itching. I ain't gonna lie.
Y'all all have seen deer, and I can't believe.
I was giving you the chance this morning. Now I was like, Jamie's gonna get one. Jamie's gonna get one.
Man, she didn't give me a shot.
I told you.
You need to come hunt. We need to get the same stand. Then you need to come hunt. I'll show you what deer are.
Put peer pressure on me.
Yeah. All right, shoot that one.
Before he
shoot that one. I'll put it on one of them. Do we got that gun, little tripod gun holder? Yeah. I'll line it up for you, Jamie. All you got to do is squeeze. You can close your eyes. I'll tell you if it's on him or not.
If that one would have ever showed her face this morning again after blowing, it was a done deal.
That's the number one way to get shot right there.
In the walk-in cooler, hands down.
They start making that old noise and stomping.
You get one time. You're going to hear that safety.
She was slick, though. She looked out. She looked down the food plot at me and then got in the pines where I couldn't see her. Then she freaking half her blew then. I'm going to get her this afternoon, though.
Well, take us on out of here, Mark.
Well, we appreciate y'all listening. Y'all always keep up with us on all the platforms. Like I say, we're going to carry you through our hunting season, everything we do. I think we got a pretty good week ahead of us. Good week of hunting at least. So we're gonna keep you up to date on that. Jamie, we got still taking a few more donations on the physically challenged hunt.
Yeah, physically challenged hunt. It's coming up next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend. So
I'll be down there.
Is it next weekend? Not
the first 2 weekends of December.
Yeah, first 2 weekends of December. So we'll be down there and we'll keep y'all posted on that. Try to get some footage of that too. But we appreciate y'all listening.
we gone.